Right, guys. Anthony Joshua loses to Daniel Dubois by fifth round knockout in a thrilling fight, multiple knockdowns. Well, Daniel Dubois delivering those knockdowns on Anthony Joshua, but thrilling fight. Just came off watching the fight. Everyone trying to process what actually happened. What was the deficiencies that Anthony Joshua displayed? Why did he get dropped so many times? And why? How come Daniel Dubois was able to sort of pretty much bring out one of the best performances he's ever delivered? Probably in his whole professional career. But yeah, man, it's an interesting fight. And what do you guys think? Make sure you guys like the video, share the video, drop your comments in the comment section below. Round one, it kicked off. Daniel Dubois, he came out of the gates as I pretty much expected him to, pretty much pressing it on against Anthony Joshua. We're using that strong double single jabs and double jabs that I said that he would need to use to sort of follow up with those right hands and hooks, and that's exactly what he pretty much did. That's he built off the back of that. He was able to land a big right hand on Anthony Joshua to drop him in the first round. I think he dropped AJ in the second and third round as well. AJ was still trying to have some success. He was trying to throw those uppercuts, he just couldn't time it. He tried to throw a couple hooks, wasn't able to time those as well. Dubois was able to duck some of those. I feel like Anthony Joshua did neglect his own jab quite a bit to sort of build off of that. Maybe because I feel like he was still sort of trying to recover, obviously from the knockdown that he suffered in the first round. So it's complicated for him. The fifth round where the knockout did happen itself, it was actually interesting because it came off the back of Anthony Joshua having his own success. He threw his own right hand that hit on Daniel Dubois' chin. Dubois had to backed up against the ropes. AJ threw his own, tried to follow up for his own right hand. He got countered by Dubois, which didn't actually take him out in the first instance, where I felt like Joshua should have took the half step back, considering Dubois didn't look fully hurt, or take the half step back, or at least, draw back just to see, like, is Dubois still live? Is he still, active in this confrontation? But AJ didn't seem to do that. We've seen, other fighters in the past, U6, be able to take those half step backs, just to make sure they're not going to get countered themselves, just trying to getting their own work off, but AJ wasn't able to do that. He threw in that whole instance, he tried to throw another right hand. Dubois threw his own right hand. AJ tried to follow up with another right hand, and then Dubois threw that finishing right hand that knocked out Anthony Joshua in place there, man. But yeah, and that's all she wrote. It was an interesting fight, tough fight. I felt that Dubois pretty much took advantage of a lot of the mistakes that Anthony Joshua did make. The first knockdown, he wasn't fully square, but he didn't put his hands up. He didn't really do much to sort of protect himself, especially where he didn't have much where to go when he was against the ropes, and he took a flush right hand from Dubois there as well. And he just wasn't really able to deal with Daniel Dubois' jab, and Dubois was sensing that AJ was struggling with that, and just decided to, you know, to dish out what Daniel Dubois likes to dish out, those hooks and overhand rights. Pretty much what he did to Hrgovic in place there is what he did to Anthony Joshua. The only difference is that Joshua actually went down and was knocked out, and Hrgovic got stopped on the cuts. That was pretty much the only difference. So yeah, man. And Daniel Dubois beats Anthony Joshua by fifth round knockout. I did say in my pre-fight video that if Dubois does win this fight, it would be off the back of the single jabs, the double jabs, finding those straight right hands, overhand rights, or hooks in place there. And I did say it would be by round 6, because Dubois a heavy-handed guy. Like, you can't go like run 1 to 6 rounds just taking heavy artillery like that. You just can't do it, especially if you're not, doing much defensively to really protect yourself enough in place there. So from AJ's perspective, he had that success in that fifth round. He managed to find that home for that big right hand that everybody was saying that he's going to hurt Daniel Dubois, and it did buzz him, because if he didn't, why would Dubois be moving backwards? Dubois had to draw back in place there. It's just AJ. I just feel like he just didn't read that Dubois wasn't really totally out of it, because if he did, he could have taken a half step back or feint, just to draw Dubois to maybe throw his own shot. Then maybe he could pull counter and throw his own finishing right hand. Maybe that's something AJ could have done. Or he could have just bided his time, because I did say in my pre-fight video, I felt like if AJ was going to win this fight, he has to be methodical, not get involved in any unnecessary war, and find a way. We have to weather that maybe tension, that early storm that Dubois will bring, but or maybe punish him with maybe some counters there if he sees the opportunity to, which he tried to do but couldn't really land. But I feel like AJ would have to break down Dubois. Dubois at some stage I felt like would have slowed, and AJ with his this technical ability, the experience he's got, would have been able to pick Dubois apart and maybe stop him, maybe around maybe around the eighth round. That's why I felt how AJ would win the fight, but didn't go like that. AJ getting knocked out in the fifth round. Hats off to Daniel Dubois, and hats off to obviously AJ taking the challenge, because Dubois is 26 or 27 years old. Now he's a younger fighter, he's fresher fighter. He's he's hungry. He wants to get that money. He wants to get that notoriety. He wants to win the world titles, and he pretty much wants to achieve what Anthony Joshua's already achieved. Apart from obviously AJ hasn't done undisputed, but everything else AJ has done, and obviously that is what Daniel Dubois wants to achieve in place there. So the question is sort of, where does Anthony Joshua, go from here? Where does Daniel Dubois go from here? Is there? I saw on the post fight interview they're talking about some rematch clause. I don't know, man. I don't know if AJ should really be looking at a rematch clause with Daniel Dubois, because if he goes and rematch Daniel Dubois, and gets knocked out again, that's even worse, man. Like I think AJ should be looking at, if he wants to carry on boxing, he should be maybe looking at the Tyson Fury fight in place there. But then again, would Anthony Joshua really be a priority for Tyson Fury? Because if Tyson Fury goes on to beat Alexander Usyk, then Tyson Fury already, I saw in the post fight, I think Fight Hub TV, Tyson Fury's talking about maybe fighting Daniel Dubois, and I said that myself. I posted on Twitter where I did say that, considering Frank Warren, is the promoter for both Tyson Fury and Daniel Dubois, I felt like in that instance there, it's pretty obvious that you're gonna have Daniel Dubois and Tyson Fury fight in place there. So it just makes perfect sense. And it would be an easier fight to make as well. You don't have to deal with any other promotional companies, all in-house, and just agreeing terms and things in that sense there. But yeah, but for Anthony Joshua, it's what other options are there? Wilder's talking about he still wants to fight him. Who else? Who else is out there that AJ could potentially fight? It's not really that much. Like, it's like, what is the fans' demand? Like, what are the fans? The only fight the fans might demand to see is Tyson Fury, but Tyson Fury, if he beats Usyk, he's gonna be preoccupied. And even if Tyson Fury loses to Usyk, maybe if Usyk, isn't really in the position to fight Daniel Dubois again, maybe, Usyk could end up retiring, and maybe Fury will fight Daniel Dubois in an in-house fight and maybe try rack up the belts himself. But there's just a lot of, roadmaps in the heavyweight division for various different fighters. Daniel Dubois himself wants to, I think he said he wants to fight Usyk, you know, to pick up those belts. But who Daniel Dubois wants to fight next, all going to be dependent upon, how does the Tyson Fury Usyk 2 actually go down? What's the result of that in December? And then we're going to know the roadmap from here, man. But yeah, so this fight was a very, very, very thrilling fight in place there. I was watching that fight. I was seeing like AJ just tried to go for the stoppage on Dubois, and I was thinking, Dubois is still live. Like he's not completely out of it. Like even AJ threw another right hand on it. Like he was still not out of it. And I was thinking, if AJ needs to take a half step back, I thought maybe because of what he learned off the Andy Ruiz fight, maybe he would have made an adjustment on that basis. But I feel like with the knockdowns that he suffered before, I feel like he just wanted to make a statement, maybe hopefully take Daniel Dubois out. But I said in my pre-fight video, I was thinking maybe because Joshua's been hurt, in the sparring with Dubois, maybe he would know sort of the risks of maybe going into an unnecessary war. But it was what it was, man. But yeah, man, let's see what happens, man. Drop your comments in the comment section below. What did you guys think about this fight? Daniel Dubois beats Anthony Joshua, knocks him out in the fifth round stoppage there. And what do you guys think about Anthony Joshua's performance itself? Where do you think Daniel Dubois actually goes from here? Can Daniel Dubois actually beat Tyson Fury? I feel like it'll be a very stylistic, tough fight for for Daniel Dubois. He's a bit more elusive. He's not just there to just be here. He's very, very, very tall. It's gonna be harder for Daniel Dubois to, have that success there. But then again, if he comes out, he's not gonna have that fear factor. He didn't even really have any fear factor of it, to be honest, the way he started. But psychologically knowing that he's not as a hard punch as AJ is, maybe he'll comfort Tyson Fury even more. Maybe this heavyweight division's for Daniel Dubois to sweep. We don't know, but in terms of Alexander Usyk, Usyk's already beaten Daniel Dubois, and Usyk's already achieved undisputed already. So does Usyk really have any incentive to rematch Daniel Dubois? Maybe Usyk might just, if he beats Tyson Fury, he might just retire off of that undisputed in the heavyweight division. Fulfill his obligations to fight Usyk Fury in a rematch. If he beats him, he's already beat Anthony Joshua. Who else is there really for Alexander Usyk to fight? He might just roll off into the sunset, be like, you know what, I've done what I need to do. Undisputed heavyweight champion, undisputed cruiserweight champion, and that's it, man. So yeah, I think Usyk potentially could do that, but you never know. Maybe he lost this game. He might just carry on boxing, but it would be a good way for him to sort of bow out in place there. But yeah, let's see how this roadmap of this heavyweight division is gonna be looking. So yeah, drop your comments in the comment section below. As I said again, Daniel Dubois winning this fight. Hats off to and Daniel Dubois. Hats off to AJ as well. Bringing that heat. It's not easy. It's 35, I think 34, 35. Daniel Dubois, nearly 10 years. A lot younger. A lot younger than Anthony Joshua there. So he's got that disadvantage in the youth. Obviously, he had the experience, but it's heavyweight boxing. Once you take a big right hand to the chin, it is what it is. Be sure to like the video, share the video, drop your comments in the comment section below. See you on the next one. Cool.